I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Just a reminder for those that don't know, in the back is the social worker from the Royalville Police Department. If anybody has any issues or needs to speak with her, she's back there. For those wondering, big tall guy over there, that's my direct supervisor. And Sergeant Taco. We have Abigail over here from Home Health Watch Caregivers. Did I say that right? Okay. So if you have any questions, she's there for you as well. And somewhere we have our presenter, Nina. I don't know where she went. But we'll wait for her, because I'm not presenting, I'm not interrogating, because I know nothing. The other thing is I am going to be sending a flyer out later today. It is meant for anybody that happens to be a military veteran. There is a therapeutic horseback riding place down the street called
The Legacy Ranch?
The Legacy Ranch. I just had a brain freeze. They have a program that is offered for veterans, free of charge for therapeutic horseback riding. Nina can probably tell you a little bit more about it, but I'm going to pass it over to Nina, so enjoy.
Microphone round for Nina. She does not have the voice.
Yeah. Okay, perfect.
Okay, so the Legacy Ranch, if you know any veterans, it is a 7-week program. It will be equine based. So for the veterans will go out with the horses, and there is a on-staff therapist that will be there as well. We did raise about $4,000 last month at the VFW in Naperville. They held a fundraiser for us. So it's about $1,000 per vet, and we have accomplished to have all expenses paid. So we have 3 spots left. If you have a veteran or know a veteran that might be interested in the program, please let me know. It is here in Lockport. So, and then the ranch is really great. If anyone ever wants to come tour the ranch or hang out with the horses, let me know. I do train our horses. So. But my name is Nina. There's another event that I wanted to let you know about here in Joliet. If you're not familiar with the Will County VAC Veterans Assistant Commission, they're going to be having an event with the Joliet Police Department for raising money for battle buddies. It's I think Officer Debbie talked about it maybe last meeting or the meeting before about, different, I think it was a scams, right, about different programs that they have that are not funded. This is one of those that are not funded federally, but if a call comes in through the Joliet Police Station and it is a veteran in crisis, they will hook them up with a Joliet police officer that is also a veteran, so that way we can respond a little bit better to the needs of that veteran that calls in. And that's what we're going to be raising money for, but it also raises money for the canines, and that's this event. They're going to have max throwing, bags tournaments. It's from 12 to 4 this Saturday in Joliet. If anyone's interested, it's free. So those are 2 programs that we have coming up. I'm here to talk about Medicare. I don't know if anyone, most of you may know me or see me from the past months. My name is Nina Elliot. I am an independent insurance broker, so that means I have a fiduciary responsibility to represent the client, not any one carrier. So you may see on some of your items in front of you, Humana or Aetna or the only two that I use for these, but different carriers. I do not represent one. I represent multiple, and I represent the client. So I'm licensed in 9 states. I do under 65 pet insurance, Medicare. Today we're here to talk about Medicare 101. This is a passion of mine, and I also spend a lot of time in the veteran space as well. So if you have any questions with how your Medicare combines with VA services, that is something I'm happy to help with. How many people here are currently on Medicare? Just make sure. Okay. Great, wonderful. And how many people here are currently working with a broker every year reviewing your options? Okay, so less. Perfect. So if you would like to work with someone every year, the plans do change. And I was just speaking with another lady, they do change the formularies on the plans every year. So it is good to just review your options. And that's what I do. I'm local, I'm here, I meet you. And all you have to do is fill out that contact form. So in front of you on that little sheet that I gave you, you'll have a pen, my card, that address. I'll try to speak loud. Hold on, you're good. I'll try it now. That address is a former address of my leaders. He likes to put it on there. I'm not on Western. I'm in Downers Grove. But I'm here once a week in the Will County PAC. Yes? You don't need some. Okay, does anybody else need some? Okay. Thank you for saying that. Yes, I'm local. Okay. Anybody else? You're welcome. Yeah, so that top underneath the business card, that is my cell phone number out there too. If anyone wants to text, feel free. Oh. Thank you. And then underneath there is a magnifying glass. That helps. And then underneath that is a contact form, permission to contact. So again, once we did something for the scams, no one is allowed to call or just contact Medicare eligibility people. They can only send you a mailer. So if anyone's calling on the phone that's not a broker and it does not have your permission, you can hang up and report that call because they're not allowed to call you. If you would like someone like me, to contact you and review those options, just fill out that form and give it to me, and then we can set up a time to go over your options every year. Especially this year coming up. Anybody else need a? No? Okay, so we'll just do, I'm going to do Medicare 101 today. Hopefully I'll have Mike. Here we go. Okay, so who is eligible for Medicare? You must be a U.S. citizen or a legal resident for at least 5 years consecutive and one of the following. So age 65 or older, under 65 with qualifying disability, and any person diagnosed with end-stage renal disease or ALS. And if anyone has questions, we do have time at the end for that. So you have different coverage options. Part A, Part B, Part C, Part D, Med Sub. They just love to make it a little confusing for us. So original Medicare is Part A and Part B. Your original Medicare for Part A is going to cover hospital insurance. So your inpatient hospice care, inpatient mental health, skilled nursing services, hospice care, and some blood transfusion. Original Medicare cost, the premium free if you have worked for over 40 quarters. And then $1,600 deductible in 2023, that will change for 2024. We do not have those numbers yet, but I should have them next, in a couple, next week. Coverage days of more than 60 days have daily co-pays. You can utilize any hospital that accepts Medicare, and hospital coverage outside the U.S. usually is not covered. And then you have original Medicare Part B. So Part B covers your doctors and outpatient visits. So you'll see some of them here. You have your physician services, outpatient ambulance, outpatient mental health, lab, dermal medical, and some preventative. And then cost for Part B is no out-of-pocket maximum, and you pay 20% of Medicare approved costs. Annual deductible for 2023 is /list $226. That will change again for 2024. And then the monthly premium adjusted based on your income. And you may be higher if you sign up after your initial enrollment period. Coverage physicians who accept Medicare and some preventative health care is provided. And then original Medicare, what's not covered? Side note, there is an app. It's called What's Covered. It's very easy. But if you download this app, it is a government app, and you can type in what's covered, anything that you want to know if it's covered or not through Medicare, and it'll give you the answer right there. So I use it all the time, it's very nice. But what's not covered is Part A and Part B deductibles, co-insurances, and premiums. Part B access charges. That's a hard one. Outpatient prescription drugs, additional benefits such as hearing, vision, and most dental, and then long-term care or custodial care. Then you have your Part D.
I just want to add, when you go to download the app that she's talking about, all I heard her say was that it's a government app. Make sure that the website that you're on ends in .gov. Okay, that's how you know it's a legit government website app. Because if it does not end in .gov, it is not the government's. So there's a lot of places out there that look like what she's explaining, but they're scams. So it goes back to me jumping in just to make sure that you guys know I'm not going to get scammed. What are you doing there?
So this is what it will look like.
Okay, so this is what it'll look like, she said. You see right here it says cms.gov. Right up there, I'm too short. I don't know where my went. So, there we go.
Yeah, so you see on the side it says similar apps. So you want that one, you want one that looks just like it. cms.gov.
C like Charlie, M like Mary, S like Sam.
They handle everything for Medicare. CMS. They love acronyms in the insurance world. But yeah, it's this little icon. And I love this app. You just type in there any question that you have on Medicare, and just to see if it's covered, and it will tell you the answer. This is kind of a better one. This icon is more than one. Okay, and then Part D. Part D is easy to remember, drugs, right? And that helps with cost of prescription drugs, only offered through private insurance companies. You can continue to pay your Part B premiums and your medications. You can receive some of them through mail order. I know one carrier is using Amazon this year. Cost. Coverage varies from plan to plan. Catastrophic coverage protects you from high drug costs. Benefits can help change year to year. And so that is something you do want to look at every year because they do change the formulas. Enrollment. Coverage is not automatic. Penalties can apply if you enroll late. And coverage. Each plan has a list of drugs. It covers called a formulary. That's what I was saying earlier, that changes every year. And the list of drugs can change throughout the year. So this is what a formulary looks like. You have the different tiers, and usually it'll say, tier 1 is X amount of dollars. All plans have a tiered formulary, and generally the lower the tier, the lower the out-of-pocket cost. You have different coverage stages. You might hear donut hole in Medicare, but basically it looks like this. You have your annual deductible. Not all plans have a deductible. Initial coverage, so up to $4,660. And then you have the coverage gap, which is that donut hole, which is up to $7,400. And then catastrophic coverage, which is through the end of the plan year. And the coverage starts on the 1st of January every year. 2023 cost sharing for Part D, annual deductible up to $505. Not all plans have that deductible. And then again, the initial coverage period, the donut hole, you pay 25% for what's covered with the drugs. Catastrophic coverage, the drug co-pays are reduced, so generic is $4.15 or 5%, whichever is greater, and then brands is $10.35 or 5%, whichever is greater. So Medicare plans, you have Part A plus Part B plus Part D will equal C. Do you like that? I don't know who came up with this formulary, but that's what they say. So when you combine A and B, your original, and then you add in a D, you get a C plan. So Medicare Advantage plans combines both A and B, and also includes drug coverage. And they are offered by private insurance companies. And they often have additional benefits that go beyond the original Medicare. It varies by each plan, but you may see something like vision or dental or transportation, meal plans. Medicare Advantage plans, eligibility for Part C, you must be enrolled in A and B. And then you must live in the plan's service area, county-based. And then you must also be able to make an informed decision. If you can't have a representative, that would make it for you. Medicare Advantage plans cost, plan premiums and benefits can change from year to year, and they do change from year to year, which is why I'm here helping, and why I do think having a broker is important to review them every year, because everything changes. You must continue to pay your plan B, or you will lose C. Coverage. Many plans include prescription drugs. Coverage may be limited to a service area unless it's an emergency. May also be required to use a network of doctors and hospitals, usually through an HMO or a PPO in these C plans. And may include additional benefits that you talked about. Types of Part C are coordinated care plans. So again, that HMO POS, preferred provider organization, which is your PPO, special needs plan. We don't have those in Illinois, but SNP. And then other plans are your PFFS, your Medicare savings accounts, and Medicare cost plans. So if you don't do the C, then you have a Medicare supplement insurance option. So that helps cover the gaps in Medicare that we talked about earlier that are not covered. And those are also sold by private insurance companies. And these plans names are A, B, C, D, G, K, L, M, N. High deductible plan F and high deductible plan G. So if we didn't confuse you or lose you with the beginning of the alphabet, we will lose you here probably. I don't know why. I know. You want A, B, C, D, Q, R. Massachusetts, Minnesota, and Wisconsin have different standardized plans. Luckily, we're not in those states. And benefits can vary when your Medicare coverage begins. So Medicare supplement insurance eligibility again, Part A and Part B, resident of the state in which you live in, and then age 65 or older, or under 65 in certain states. And then the cost helps with out-of-pocket costs not paid by original Medicare. Premiums may vary based on age, sex, tobacco status, zip code, plan, and carrier. Enrollment, generally the best time to enroll is during the 6-month open enrollment period following your 65th birthday, or Part B effective date if later. That is your guaranteed issue time to enroll, so that is the best time. And there may be other situations in which acceptance may be guaranteed. For instance, there's one carrier in Illinois that does have a guaranteed issue supplement plan, so you always have that option too. Well, you don't always have it, but you have it right now, unless they take it away. So, basically, you have original Medicare, which is your A and B, and then you can have the option of adding a Medicare supplement with a Part D, or you have the option of choosing a Part C or plus a Part C and D. And that makes sense to you. Okay, when can you enroll? The month you turn 65 at 4 months, 3 months prior, and 3 months after. So what if you work past age 65? If you work past age 65, you may enroll in Parts A and B. It's recommended that you speak with the benefits administrator and keep records of your health insurance coverage. Enrollment after 65 when retiring, you may be eligible for a special enrollment period that will allow you to enroll in original Medicare for up to 8 months after the loss of employment coverage, whichever happens first. And then enroll in a Medicare Advantage or prescription drug plan for up to 2 full months after the loss of the employer's health benefits. So just like under 65 ACA, you have a 60-day special enrollment period after the loss of employer coverage. And then new to Medicare, working beyond 65. This depends on how many employees the employer has. So fewer than 20 employees, your 65th birthday month, 3 months before and 3 months after. Medicare supplement open enrollment, your eligibility begins the first month that you become 65, and this period lasts for 6 months and begins on the first day of the month in which you're both 65 or older enrolled in Medicare Part B. There are some additional elections, so what I keep encouraging today is the annual enrollment period. That is going to be October 15th, so it's right around the corner, through December 7th. And all of those plans will become effective on January 1st of 2024. And then we have open enrollment period, so January 1st through March 31st. You may change from one Medicare Advantage to another, or original Medicare with or without Part D coverage. And then special enrollment periods, for instance, if you are moving, again, loss of employer coverage, new service area, discontinuing your current plan, receiving skilled nursing care, low income, Medicaid, or reasons like that. And so what are your next steps if you're looking into Medicare? Number 1 would be review your enrollment periods, and so we're all in a great time because right around the corner is our annual enrollment period. Research your options. Number 3, ask for help, seek help. That's what I'm here for. Again, fiduciary responsibility to you, so I do what's best by you, not the carrier. I'm happy to help in any way that I can. And then 4, enroll, and then 5, yearly review. So that yearly review is just so important with the changes. Hopefully I didn't bore you too much with the Medicare talk. Any questions? Yes.
I don't really have transportation in my Medicare Advantage.
Okay.
And I'm using the Township So, I mean, how do I go to the broker? This guy, I think, I don't know if it's a broker or if he's this United Health.
His question was, I'm sorry, what was your name?
I mean, you have to know if I have transportation.
He wants to know if he has transportation in his Part C. You have Part C?
Yeah.
Medicare Advantage?
At first, I just had Medicaid, and they had transportation in there, but it was kind of rough.
Are you still on the Medicaid? Well, that's the thing. So in the state of Illinois, we do not have what the other states have for Medicare, which is there is an estimate plan and a decent plan, but Illinois doesn't have it. It is a little bit different. So I understand what you're saying.
I mean, do I have
Are you still on Medicaid? Or no? Do you?
No.
Now you're in just Part C.
Yeah, and there's Medicare and the Part C.
Yeah, so if you want, I'm more than happy to help look into it for you. If you have someone that you're working with, I would ask your broker. Or if you get the summary of benefits of your current plan, we can look into it and see what you
Yeah,
get.
I know this stuff is real long in the teeth, you know, and
Oh, that's what I do all day.
well, maybe you but anyway, yeah,
Yeah, that's why you seek help. You just ask, and I'm more than happy if you put your name on there. Give me permission to contact, I'm happy to look into your plan for you. It only takes me a couple minutes.
I don't have that piece of it. I'll get it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The transportation thing is, you
It's
don't
a nice
know it
benefit.
until later. You go to all your regular doctors, and then it's something that's a little more serious. Thank you.
Absolutely, I'm here to help. I mean, I understand. Resources are limited these days. Any other questions? Oh, wow.
Hand over there.
I know.
I'll yell out the question.
Perfect. Thanks, Officer.
I recently received a copy of my supplemental formulary, and, you know, they want you to sign up right now or start looking at it, you know, to either keep it or change it, but they don't send you the formulary. Now that I've got the formulary, it's still difficult to tear it all apart to see if the drugs that my wife and I take are in the formulary, and like you say, there's been so many changes, they change these year to year. You really don't know how it affects the cost of it. The monthly premium went up 30% when Joe Biden says all the drugs are going to be coming down. So the monthly went up a third, and in looking at the drugs that we take, it's hard to tell because they changed the tiers on them and they changed the deductibles on them. So how do you guys tear it all apart to determine which is the best?
I know, so I have an incredible system, a software program that my higher-ups made, and it will take all of your prescriptions from if you have them in the blue docket or not. I can take every prescription that you have, enter it in, and then it will give me the estimated cost. Well, I mean, I have access. I can enter in on the broker side of everything and tell you your exact cost of everything and send it out to you. But also, if you wanted to check all of them in the area, I have the software and I enter in all of your drugs, all of the dosage and the frequency, and then it will show me in your demographic, in your zip code, every single plan that's offered through, you know, whether you choose the C or D. If it is just the D, it will show different options. If you'd like, I can pull it up here in a moment and show you kind of how it works, but it'll give you a side-by-side, and then you can filter. So my favorite filter is total estimated cost, because you have a premium, right? You said 30% the premium went up?
Yeah.
Right, so 30% on yours, the premium went up, and then you also have the cost of drugs, and if you have a new drug in there, you know, what's it going to be, and drugs have regulations on drugs, so it is hard to tell, but I can just plug them in, and then it'll show me, I like the total estimated cost, what is it going to cost you, and it'll give you a projection of with your premium every month, and then also how often you put it in there. So if I put a 90-day supplement, you know, it will show, it won't put that total estimated cost in until it shows at the bottom, or the next 3 months or whatever. It's awesome. It's a really great software. So that's what I have to utilize and help you give you those answers as best as that we can. And if you, like a certain carrier, want to solidify something, then again, I can go through that broker portal and give you the exact cost on everything. And it's really nice to send a breakdown.
I have a question, Do you charge for people to come in to sit down and talk with you?
So it costs absolutely nothing to talk to me. My services are free of charge. The way that it works is I get paid directly through the carriers, and the carriers just enroll in our commissions go in the plans, and then they pay us directly every year. So no, it costs nothing, and we do what's right. Again, by law, I'm bound by law to do what is right by you. I couldn't change a plan just because, and they all pay the same too, so just, it's not like one goes the better way, but if it's the best for you to stick in one plan, then we stay there. If it's better for you to change, then you change. And no, it does not cost you anything out of your pocket. It might cost you not to talk to me, and be stuck in a plan that's higher cost, but no.
Okay,
No, that's a great question. It might scare people away sometimes, maybe,
right.
Yeah. Nope, just happy to help. Any other questions? Yes?
I have a question about changing between Medicare Advantage and going back to original Medicare. I was once told that if you were on Medicare Advantage for 12 months or longer, you could not go back to original Medicare. So can you clarify that statement, if that's true or not?
Yes. Did I answer your question, by the way, sir?
Yeah.
Okay. So again, if I go back a couple slides, every year there is an open enrollment, and that is from January 1st until March 31st, that you have the option to either go back to just original Medicare or enroll in and switch into a Plan C.
Okay, so that, there's
So
no
She was told
cutoff.
wrong then because she was told that she cannot go back to regular if she was in Advantage.
After 12 months, you couldn't go back to original Medicare.
I don't want to say someone told you wrong information, right? But
But they did.
yeah, a lot has changed from as long as I've been in Medicare. I've been in insurance since November 2017. This is my 3rd year in Medicare, and this has always been the law I know, that you do have that open enrollment period from January 1st to March 31st, and you can change. It is a one-time change. So maybe if you changed within that 12 months already, you may have not been able to go back during that elective period, unless you had a special enrollment period, which ours might be. So maybe that was why they said that. Yeah, but otherwise you always have every year a chance to change one time. Yes. Does that answer your question? You good with that?
Well, it still doesn't clarify. I know I could change within Medicare Advantage if I chose that.
Or original Medicare, you can go back down to just
So if
original.
I took Medicare Advantage for 3 years, let's say, and I wanted to go back to Medicare the 4th year, I could do that.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
have to go through underwriting.
No, if she were to get a supplement plan, she would have to go back for underwriting. During open enrollment, annual enrollment period, for C, there is no underwriting. But for a supplement, she would have to go through underwriting. But any insurance, except for your A and B, because that is through federal exchange, that you can go back to the bear. That's a bear mate, like the bear that you have, A and B, right? So if you have A and B and you're paying for B, you're good. If you want to add C, like that Advantage plan or a Med Sub, that's completely up to you. That's a month-by-month basis. You can cancel that at any time. No one is locked into any insurance plan in this U.S. states, Every one is month to month, you can always cancel it. If you wanted to go back to original Medicare, there is, you have certain election periods, and you can't do it during that time, absolutely. After 3 years, if you want to go back to original Medicare and just do A and B, you can. Would I recommend that? Probably not, because C has advantages. But it just depends, every situation is unique, but you absolutely have that option. Unless, like I said, maybe if they told you during that time you were already used your election period on change, that maybe that's why they said that, but you may. During that time. Yes?
Medicare is, Medicare takes the premium, right? When you go back to Medicare.
Social Security.
Social Security.
Goes to the Social Security office for Part B.
Yeah.
You can choose, so if you are already receiving Social Security payments, it will automatically be deducted from your Social Security. But again, that you have the option as well to change at any time to, have it pulled out of either a bank draft or, railroad funds or Social Security. Otherwise, if you don't get Social Security, you have to call them and let them know that you are part of this and that you want to take out of your Social Security. Yes?
What is the payment or charges for when you open or you enroll in the, you pick a pick one, and then they give you a price. Trouble is, that price is not over. 3 months later, they raise it considerably, and like
Who's
after
they?
March, so they will be, that's when they review the insurance and decide the cost basis. Why
Yes,
does
that's
that, can we not have them do that review before we have to decide what to do?
Did you do a Part D?
Huh?
Did you do a supplement plan you're talking about?
Yeah.
A Blue Cross supplement plan?
Yeah. Yeah, you sign up and you expect this price, and then it's after like 3 months, and then come after March, you get this letter, sorry, this is what we want, we've got to pay more.
Yeah, every year those rates increase on the supplement plans.
They should tell us that when we're deciding in the regular open enrollment.
That makes sense, right?
Yeah, it makes sense, but how do they put us do this?
Well, that is something I do a lot of seminars and broker summits, and we use it on the panel with CMS. CMS is in charge of all of that, and I will bring it to the attention. I know that is something that a lot of people, especially because I have a lot of clients that like 2 years paid in full, because you get a lot of, advantages sometimes if you pay your year in full, and sometimes they can't because they don't know what the paid in full price is. So I understand that's frustrating. Unfortunately, that's not on my hands. Yeah. But that is the disadvantage on the supplement, and it does go up every year. But yeah, and so it's really best to know what's best in the market in your demographic with a carrier that holds true to their value every year of not jacking up the prices. Yes.
We have Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Okay.
During the open enrollment period, they don't let you know what your rate will be. Normally, is that what she's saying? You normally find that out in like February.
And March, right?
Yeah.
Right, and that's what she's like, why can't we have it when it's...
Right.
So the thing with supplement plans as well is it's not like C where we have to have this enrollment period. So when you do your, annual payment or, enroll in a Medicare supplement plan, it's not the same as this same enrollment period. So maybe that's why they don't do your numbers until then.
Is that true with all supplements? Like private insurance supplements?
So I'm licensed in 9 states. Some of them are a little bit weird, and every county is different. But by states is what supplements go by, and there are some. I'm not allowed to say something is better, best, or worse, right? But I can tell you some hold truer value year over year, not increasing than others. Yeah, you just have, it depends on the state and stuff like that. But there are some that also increase.
So how does it work though, if you're in a plan and you don't know, say they raise you sort of money in March, can you find a different plan or are you stuck in it?
So, are you talking about going from a different supplement plan? You can, but that's where the underwriting comes in.
Oh,
So, you will have to go through new underwriting unless there's only one guarantee issue in Illinois. So, let's say, for instance, usually what happens is somebody comes off a C and they thought, oh no, I wanted the Medicare supplement, but they didn't get it originally. Well, you still have a guarantee issue in the state of Illinois. There's a Blue Cross guarantee issue plan, which is nice. But yeah, you would be subject to new underwriting, and those rates could be higher because they do rate those, they base them on age, sex, tobacco, zip code. So it might, you can look, right? You can always, and that's where I come in, right? And you can always look and see if there's something better out there before you go to a different option. Because when those go up, I know fixed income, that's not easy to do. But again, you're never locked into one thing. You always have the option to change. You may pay more to do that. You may want to go from a med sup into an advantage plan. That might be a different option too. Some people might want to do. Because that may save you, why you could have money.
but
Yes.
then with the advantage plan, you have to go to specific doctors.
Yeah, so the advantage plan, you have different networks. So those HMOs, PPOs, there are some that are pretty nationwide and that have a great network. So I wouldn't be too concerned about that. It is nice to have the Medicare. Like if you travel a lot, that would be something I asked you, right? Going to snowbirds or whatever, then you want to have one of those advantage plans that does have more of a nationwide base. But otherwise, the supplement doesn't have a network, so that is an advantage of paying so much. Yes, sir? Did you have a question behind?
Yeah, it's relative to what this young lady just said. The advantage plan has its advantages. It's cheaper overall, let's say. But the disadvantage is that you don't necessarily have the doctors that you had in regular Medicare.
If you were my client, that would not be true. The first thing I do is ask who are your doctors and what hospitals you want in network. Yeah, we look those up. I always look those up first. That's, my main ulterior motive in insurance, right? People want to keep their doctors, that's important.
Yeah, but what if the doctor wants out of the plan midway through?
You know what, that happened quite a bit.
Yeah, they
The
should.
carriers dropped out of the networks last year, that was not fun for me, or my clients. That could happen, that they have the right to do that. But typically, when those HMOs and PPOs, those are contracts. So, if you knew there was a big settlement last year from a carrier that we all spoke about today, millions of dollars. There are contracts that they're supposed to have in those HMO PPOs. That's how they get the pre-negotiated rates. So they shouldn't just drop out year over year. That's why you should look, and that's why we encourage you to review every year. Because your doctor may not be, a lot of times the doctor will be in that same carrier, but then they decide to contract only with the PPOs, or they'll drop down to HMOs. So that's why it's good to review it every year.
The other issue is,
They should hold true to that yearly contract, but.
you're dealing with an insurance company now as opposed to the government Medicare. Now, the
private
insurance
insurance.
companies know what they contracted with with Medicare to make payouts. But it's been my, I won't say experience, but, you know, hearsay and talking to other people, that you kind of are now fighting with an insurance company. They get the claim and they, well, we don't know about this, and, you know, they start hedging on paying out what they had contracted to pay because they realize that maybe they signed up and it's not enough money. And they, so there's ill will between the doctors that are in it and the insurance company.
And that should never be brought, in my opinion, that should never be brought to the client, right? But it does happen.
It does happen.
Yeah, there are exclusions, right? Insurance companies, they, high risk, you know, that's exactly how they reach their money. But finding a reputable carrier is important, and they are rated. So the best part about, especially the C plans with Medicare, is they have 5 different stars, and those stars are pretty high expectations. So there's 38 different expectations within those 5 stars, and that's how they get those ratings. So if you have a star plan rating of 2, you know, you are always allowed to elect. If a 5-star plan comes in your area, that's a special enrollment period. You can drop the plan you have right now and go to that 5-star plan because that reputation is so high. And one of them is making sure the doctors are getting their claims, making sure that the doctors are prescribing the right medication, making sure that they're following up with their clients. There's, again, 38 different credentials that make up those 5 stars, but that's the best way to kind of look into that, because that's any insurance, right? You get a car, property, it's across the board with insurance. And that will happen with dental too, and chiropractic. Finally, they're coming back and working with the carriers, and now the insurance companies are jumping back on board. But the problem is A and B is not going to cover what you need when something happens. So having that extra protection of C, where that mess up, is kind of crucial unless you have, you know, thousands in the bank. So it's good to have. And if you know what you want to have done, like a procedure before, that's something I always ask too, because I can look at the exclusions and see before we sign you up. That doesn't work after, but before we sign you up, if you know, hey, I have this coming up and this coming up, then I can look at the exclusions and say, okay, this company does, and that's where it gets really fun. 300 pages. No, honestly, I really do with all my clients, because you want to make sure what you're going in is covered, right? Yeah. Yeah, and unfortunately, they don't let the brokers fight the battle with the insurance companies, but
I'll try to
one more.
we got our hard times.
With the Advantage plan, a lot of them have dental coverage. What if you find out from your dentist that you're going to have bridge work or implants done, and you have this insurance? Is there a waiting period on that? Let's say you just sign up for Part C and it says dental, knowing that you're going to have all this work done. So the first month that you're in it, they start billing. Will they pay for that, or will they say, well, you haven't been in the plan long enough, like private insurance does? There's usually a 4 or 5 month waiting period before you can even bill them for it, and then they'll pay, you know, fitness is what it is.
Yeah, and that's where I said dental is one of those ones last year with the chiropractors that was hard. But this question was, if you're in an Advantage plan that has dental enrolled in it, if there is a waiting period, if they're going to pay without the waiting period. Every plan is different. So again, that would be something I'd have to dive into the exclusions. Unfortunately, again, 9 states, multiple carriers, and I can tell you off the top of my head, only 2 carriers that I know with plans right now. Maybe 3 plans of all of these states in here that have no waiting periods for dental services. That is rough for major services. like you said, crowns and stuff. But there are some new benefits rolled into the Advantage plans that they have that are allowing you to, there are cards, I don't know if you've seen these cards come out with your plans, but there's funding on these cards that you can use towards dental services. So some plans have that, so if you need to get something right away, you're in a plan that does have a waiting period, you may have benefits you don't even know about in your C. That can be used, those dollars can be used towards dental, because that was a big issue, and a lot of carriers, I go to all these kickoff, I have a billion kickoff meetings right now, and every carrier wants to, show how they enhance their plans, and that's one thing that a lot of the brokers brought, is that, hey, dental is huge across the map for C. Everyone's looking at dental and trying to make their dental the best. Waiting periods. Again, I'd have to look at each plan, but across the board, they are trying to figure out ways to help with that.
Thank you.
It's not going unseen, that's for sure. I do travel insurance. She said, yeah. So she said if you go overseas, what happens if it's an emergency, it will be covered. And some plans do have out of the United States coverage, travel benefits. But for the most part, yeah, original Medicare does not pay for the United States. But I do travel insurance as well. So. Travel, pet insurance, that's how it happens, right? Somebody travels and they say, hey, yeah. I would say your insurance broker. Yeah, I would go to your insurance broker. It's not a business, so. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry.
My question is instead of, I'm just reading it in the Medicare book that came to my office. I don't know if I understood it correctly, but it says the enrollment case can change the prescription drug program is not the same enrollment case that the plans.
In Medicare, and your Medicare, your Medicare and you?
Medicare and you.
Yeah.
They should be done now. Talking one-on-one.
Our question was, the book Medicare and You might be a little confusing on when enrollment dates are for to change your PDP, your prescription drug plan. It is the same enrollment as annual enrollment period for C. So yeah, so it's MEPD and then PD. So you can change. You can also change them in that election period, January 31st, if you want to do that one-time change. But right now is when you should be looking at it. October 15th till December 7th is the time you want to look at your PDP and Advantage plan if you have that. This is the time.
We better wait then.
There's too much waiting time back and forth. She wants to be like, so I don't want to be girl. Is that still correct?
How long was that?
Probably in the last 2-3 years. And I said, I'm never going to take another insurance plan that requires coverage for all.
So you would not want an HMO. You would not want an HMO. You would want to stick with a PPO plan, where you do not want a referral. That is the difference between HMO and PPO. That's the main difference. Like, that's what I think in my head. HMO, you have to go to your primary care doctor and your primary care doctor refers you out to any specialist. PPO, you can go, as long as they're in network, you do not need the referral from your PCP. Yeah. That's why I asked how long too, because nowadays it's pretty easy. Like even if you have an HMO, a lot of plans move to HMOs anyways. And you just call and say, I know a lot of doctors, you just call, let them know where you want to go, and they write it as electronic. They should be able to do it. I mean, it's 2024, we're in that, right? It should be that easy, but if your doctor is making you go in, get the referral, they might be wanting that office visit, because they get paid on that, so. The doctors get paid when you, no, but if you go into the office.
But a special doctor.
So they may want you to go into the, that's how the program's set up in HMO. So, yeah, an HMO. So you just want to probably stay away from an HMO. Stick to PPO.
Come on, girl.
That's not for everybody.
Ready? Yeah, go behind her.
Gonna do that.
Okay, the question was if your doctor accepts Medicare, are you talking about, your original Medicare, right? Okay, so that can be a little confusing on its own because Medicare Med Supplement, a Med Sup, the doctor has to say that they take Medicare assignment, they're assigned Medicare, whereas the HMO is a different contract. But you may need a supplement because if you have access charges, if you go into a hospital and you have thousands of dollars in hospital pay, you don't pay anything for that Med Sup. Well, if you're just going for a doctor's visit, the Med Sup probably isn't. The Med Sup these are for if, these advantage of the Med Sup are if something bad, when something bad happens. When something bad happens, that we have coverage and we're not, paying. The difference between the Med Sup and Med C to me is the Med Sup, think of more like, insurance, your car insurance. You're paying whether you're using it or not. And then if you get into an accident, you have the deductible, a small deductible, they pay the rest of it. Whereas the C is a lower, there's advantages because the costs are lower. Some of them are $0, some of them, but then you have co-pays. If you do a C, yeah. Yes, depending on which plan, but yes. Co-pays and then a max out of pocket, and but you're not paying for it up front, whereas the Med Sup you pay for every month up front. But then if something happens, yes. What's covered? Do you like that? It's really helpful. CMS.gov. Man, I really love your initiative with that Medicare U-Book. The Medicare U-Book. That's great notes.
These are
So I do private insurance, dental plans outside of healthcare. There's some really great senior-based plans that have, stuff that seniors would need as opposed to other. I can think of actually I have a lunch meeting with Cigna after this. We just did one. They launched some new plans just based on seniors. This is a different meeting with them, but we have options. That's my favorite part. You have options outside of it.
And just website or program that you have.
No, ma'am. If you put your drugs into the blue button, it's a government website. You would probably know if you got them in there, but it is strictly through the government, and that intertwines with that. So if you want to just import your blue button, that would be shared with blue buttons, but otherwise, yes, everything is confidential. Honestly, the securities on my computer are pretty stellar. We have to have a lot of safety. Yeah, you can't share it with anyone.
5, 6 weeks.
The question was, if you change insurances, do you have to notify the previous carrier? So if you're going from a C plan to a new C plan, it will automatically override. I always love to tell everyone that you should call me. Yeah. I don't like leaving it in anybody else's hands, just in case. But we can always, that's something if you do have a broker, you just maybe email them, but it should automatically enroll you on the next plan. Yeah, and so during that open enrollment period or whatever open enrollment period you have, whatever the last plan you enroll in is the plan that will stay. So if you enroll one plan like this, let's say, October 16th, and then you enroll in another plan, another C plan, advanced plan, October 30th, it's going to be the October 30th plan that would go into effect. It would automatically eliminate the first plan. Yes?
How long do you have, or who finds out, or who tells you when you move to a new area?
That is your responsibility, sir. To tell, and you're supposed to tell your Social Security office. And that one, I highly recommend doing that sooner than later, because I don't know if anybody's been to that office. They have a lot going on, I guess. So. It's good to get that going right away, because you'll have to notify the Social Security, and then you would want to also notify your carrier that you changed your residential. But that is, your responsibility. And especially if you change in a C plan and you're out of your service area, you want to make sure that you notify them, because maybe that plan isn't offered in that area and you may need to get a new plan, which would be a special enrollment period.
Okay, thank you very much, Nina. Yeah, if anybody has, she gave you guys something permission to contact. If you want her to contact you, go ahead and just drop that with Judy on your way out. She'll collect it. Judy, did you know you were doing that?
If you have any specific notes, I can send it to me, you can do that as well.
Yeah, if you don't want Judy to see, you can just hand it to Nina.
Don't worry, I don't have, I can't get right.
Okay, and also just so you guys know, next month is the balance and fault prevention tips. We had him about a year ago. I had a few people ask that I have him come back. His name's Kyle Dodge. He's with physical therapy, so just so you guys know, anybody that wants to come. Anybody that doesn't, don't. I'll send out an email, respond to my email, tell me that you're coming or you're not. So, thank you everybody. Have a great day.